So ecstatic dance, if you're not familiar with ecstatic dance, it is a sober event. There's no talking on the dance floor. And you're really encouraged to just like let it out, move freely. And people will crawl on the ground and do contact dancing, with consent. And all of these things are outside of my comfort zone. So I have been to ecstatic dance in the past, but I've also not been in the past, meaning I have gone to the front door of ecstatic dance events before and chickened out and said like, I'm just too anxious and too nervous. I don't want to do this. So that's why this was a really tough, an edge. So when Betsy asked me if I wanted to go, I just said, yes, I'm really trying to work on not avoiding things that make me uncomfortable, not protecting myself from it, and instead, having the experience, feeling the experience. Often, trying to see, is this as bad as my anxiety makes me want to think it is? It's actually not that bad, I had a cool experience with this yesterday afternoon where I met a friend for lunch. No, for juice in the afternoon. And the traffic at the time they wanted to meet, I knew would be bad. And part of me was like, can we reschedule? Because I don't like to be on the roads when the traffic's bad. I get frustrated. And I was like, no, this is an opportunity to lean into it and just feel the experience. See if I get tense, I will notice in my body and I will work through it. So, and it worked. I did get into some traffic. I did start to feel myself tense, and I went, no urgency. And I was able to call upon the things that I've been studying about meditation and mindfulness and calming my body and being just self-aware. So I was like, right on, okay. Next classroom, ecstatic dance. That was a jump in grades. I skipped a grade last night because it was, I did okay. I definitely was self-conscious, but I did dance. Betsy beforehand, we met and she gave me some clothing donations for First Saturdays. And then she kind of gave me a little tutorial on contact dance. And she gave me some tips on things that she does to get into the flow, which was really wonderful and beautiful. And I appreciate her because she is one of those people that I see as, she has a degree of freedom and flow in her life that I aspire to. She is one of the reasons that I am dedicating myself in the way that I am right now, because I see it's possible. A lot of people have been, not a lot, but there are people that have been responding to some of my self-growth go like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, everybody's got anxiety. Everybody's got fears. Everybody's got things about them they don't like, like you do the best you can with what you got. And I'm like, yeah, I totally, that has been my chapter up until now. And I think I did awesome with what I got. And I even have used some of my insecurities and stuff to push me to do things that have been great in the world. And my need for self-love has pushed me to do things that are good in the world. And then I get good feedback from it, and it makes me feel okay about myself. But what if it's possible to fill up that cup of self-worth the rest of the way so that it doesn't get triggered in a place like ecstatic dance, and I can just feel a freedom in my body that I previously have only achieved through intoxication. So that is what I've been, working towards. Betsy and Ladybug are people that have showed me, that there are levels of growth that I aspire to. So it was tough because I've been doing so much work this month, the last 5 weeks, and really pushing, and I feel like I'm making so much growth. And so there's a part of me that was like, what if I'm going to go to ecstatic dance and I'm just going to be like free? And I wasn't. I participated though, and I was self-aware, and I noticed when I had feelings that were less than free, and I pushed myself to participate. I pushed myself to move around the room, away from the wall. I spent some time against the wall, moved through the room. I actually did some contact dancing with Betsy. And then my phone, my iWatch is like it's time for bed. And I'm like, oh my God. Because I've been going to bed early and waking up early. It's part of my path, right? So I did. I ended up, for a moment, I got into the music and I was really like, I got into it. But just for a few minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes max. It's not really my go-to dance music. It's a little bit more tribal and flowy than like, I like kind of harder music, break beats and things. So I was trying, but then when it's my watch says time to go, I'm like, I'm gonna go. I've danced an hour. I participated. I'm gonna go, and I did, and I was outside, and I almost went back in because I was like, I started beating myself up. I'm like, dude, you have another. You participated for an hour. You have another hour that you can practice feeling uncomfortable. Go in there and feel uncomfortable. Go back in there and feel uncomfortable. And then I started to feel really icky in my body, and I was like, wow, I feel way worse now than I did when I was dancing. And what's happening now? Now my inner voices are criticizing me and telling me you didn't do good. You haven't done enough work. You need to do more. You're not doing enough. You didn't do good. And I was like, fuck, dude, the experience was okay. This after effect of my voices picking on me sucks. And so I was like, and Lady Boogie just told me about, look, you got to read this book on self-compassion. And so I was like, let's say, and I watched a little bit of the author's Neff, of some of her stuff. And so I was just like, you did a great job. You did a great job. You went, you danced, you contact danced, you did it sober. You did a great job. And like that tense feeling was like, so I went to my car, I went home, got to bed at a reasonable hour so I could get up at a reasonable hour that I want to get up, so I could do my morning routine and stay feeling good, so I could write about it this morning. It's on Medium if you want to read. I think I put it on Instagram too. So I survived my ecstatic dance, and as I reflect back over last night, I'm like, I'm going to take it as a win. That was a win. Was it the triumph that I was hoping for? No. But it was progress. It was a win. And I got to celebrate those wins. So, ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 da. I'm ecstatically dancing in my win. Woo, woo, woo.